I didn't do that at all. I meant to share my screen. That's what I was trying to show you here is that, you want to recognize that you're in continuation. Harness it toward thriving by identifying your focus every day, moment to moment. Your life is made up of different segments, and each segment will have a focus. You're in one class, that's a different focus from another class. You're going to hang out from friends, that's a different focus. You're going to meet dinner with family, that's a different focus. And what would thriving look like? Just practice it, mentally. What is my focus? Why does it matter? What would thriving look like? What would growth, success, well-being? You see, thriving nowhere does it say perfection. It does not say that. It says growth, success, well-being, progress. And then once you know what the outcomes are, that's box number 2. Now you can go to box number 3, which I call methods. We haven't talked about that yet, but my general word for how you spend resources, I just call it methods. Anything you do that costs resources is a method. If you spent money on skin conditioner, it was a method for something. You had an outcome in mind for what your skin should be like. If you go into college is a method. The major you picked is a method. Everything you spend resources on is a method. And we want to make sure that what we spend resources on are the factors that are going to give me my outcomes of thriving. And nowhere else. Do not spend your resources on anything that is not going to produce thriving. That sounds really harsh, doesn't it? It sounds like I was yelling and being mean, like I was mad. I was mad at you. I'm mad at spending resources on things that don't matter. I'm mad at that. Because some you don't get back. Like if I lose money, which I've done, made bad investments, made mistakes, you can earn it back maybe. But time, if someone takes time off your clock, you can't get it back. They can't give it to you back. You can't sue them for time. You'll run out of time. I was learning about the life of Tesla, Nikolai Tesla, and he was in lawsuits because Edison was messing with him. Edison was not a nice person, and stole his patents. And eventually Tesla won the cases, but after he was dead. See, you can't get your time back. Don't think someone will mess you up, mess with your life, betray you. And then the worst cost will not be the betrayal. It'll be the time you spent on it. That's not to say not to reflect or that, like whatever, but that's one of the lessons I learned the hard way. It wasn't the injury that cost most. It was my ego locking onto it. Little extra advice. All right. So let me come back to this worksheet and then are we almost out of time? We are out of time.
Well, we've got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
We get done at 12:20. So.
All right. Let me show the last part of the worksheet then. So once once you've identified your purpose, it starts with your focus and why it matters. Then from there, what outcomes do I want? What would thriving look like? From there, you say, okay, now that I know what thriving looks like, what are the factors necessary? What are the most important factors that I need to get in shape for me to produce thriving? And then each of these factors could be on an alignment meter, like 0 to 100. And you'd be like, this factor is at a 30 when I need it at a 70. So what you're going to do is you're going to focus, you're going to use your time, money, talents, and whatever resources to move that factor from a 30 to a 70. And as you do, you will produce your outcomes. And you do that for each factor. This factor needed to be a 60 and it's a 40. Okay, cool. I got to put resources to go from a 60 to a 40. This factor here needs to be a 60, but you know what? I have it at an 80. It's good. I got surplus here. Quit spending too much resource here, maybe. You see? And as you do, you'll progress towards your outcomes. Now, how do you get more resources, which is what engagement's about? Well, engage means to pledge. Resources. The first thing is to identify your resources. Make sure you have the resources. Some resources you think you have that you might not. You might think you have a friend you could rely on and find out they're fake or something like that. Or you might realize that you might have a resource that you don't know you have. You might have somebody in your corner you forgot about, or who if you called on, they would just help you out. So you really have to identify your resources. But that's not all. There's more. There's this great set of steak knives called cultivation. You can cultivate resources. You can grow your resources. You can get new allies. You could raise money. You could raise awareness. You can increase your knowledge. You see what I'm saying? You can grow your talents and skills and abilities. But wait, there's more. This is actually really important. You can cultivate all the resources, but you can waste them on things that aren't important. And so distribution is really important. How do you distribute your resources? And now you know how to distribute your resources. I'm telling you, you distribute your resources to the factors that are necessary for thriving and nowhere else. All right, that's my closing comment. Any thoughts, reactions, or anything to my little idea fashion show?
Yeah, good job. Thank you. I mean, I just wanted to make a couple of comments. I mean, everything that has been shared with you, I mean, the progression theory model, thriving, alignment and engagement, and then really kind of looking more at the, what's your focus? Why does it matter? The outcomes, what does thriving look like? The methods. I mean, these are kind of the nuts and bolts of what what I'm thinking we're going to get to when it comes to the, what we're hoping to do with our team assignment related to what could be studied, what could be looked at in order to create thriving or help support better conditions for people in underserved areas here in Kansas City. And so I think that's the focus. That's the rationale that I had for inviting Adam, because I think this model, as he said, I mean, it's very simple, but it's not necessarily obvious. And so, but I think you can apply all of this to a macro problem, like something out in society, or to your personal life, like a career goal, or, graduation goal, or, relationship goal, whatever goal that you have in mind. And so it's a very versatile model. And I think because Adam's whole focus is on thriving, and, which I think is, in the same lens of, of well-being and happiness, I think it all fits together really well. So any closing comments or final words from anybody?
I'll add one more thing, Tom, on what you said. So I actually define philanthropy as engaging oneself and others to align the factors for others to thrive. Does that make sense? And I think of self-realization as engaging yourself to align the factors for you to thrive. The definitions are almost the same. You want to engage yourself and your resources to align the factors that lead to your thriving. And when you do it for other people, that's called philanthropy. Yeah. And I just want to say, I hope this is something that for some of you, you were able to like, oh, you can apply it towards things that are going on in your life. So that's my ultimate goal. Happy to come back anytime. Tom knows how to find me. So I really enjoyed being with y'all. Reach out anytime.
All right, Adam, thank you. Really appreciate everything you shared. And then I guess just to, just to kind of put a capstone on it. So by Wednesday, we'll focus on, Adam referenced it, and I talked about it last week, but we will talk about the really kind of the focus on other countries and what they're doing differently, specifically Nordic countries, that they're doing some things. Your annotated bibliographies aren't due until Wednesday this week. So, and actually every week going forward. So that's it for today, folks. Thank you all, and have a great Halloween. That's where I think Alana's gone.